bird's-eye view of the Eastern Sierra reveals a rocky, dramatic landscape with majestic mountain summits rising up from the valley floors below. Buried in those peaks is Mammoth Mountain, with some of the best terrain parks and high alpine riding offered anywhere in the United States. This week, the best slopestyle riders in the business are making the trip to Mammoth for the Paul Mitchell Progression Session. A long-standing discipline in the freestyle snowboarding scene. There's now more attention on slopestyle as the IOC has made it an official Olympic sport for the 2014 Sochi Games. Just 3 hours north of Mammoth, you'll find the biggest little city in the world, Reno, Nevada. This eclectic area is home to some personalities, one of which is current slopestyle champion, Guldemon. Off the slope, Chaz is a dedicated family man, but on the course, he's a seriously focused competitor.
Most of the guys, they just have the techs do their boards. But for me, I like to do my own board. I like to put good love into it. You don't see a knight just leaving his blade somewhere, you know? He probably brings it with him and sharpens it and keeps it nice, you know? This is my tool, so I try to take care of it. And it takes care of me back.
When Chaz was really young, he was an amazing competitor, but he was crazy. Like, I used to have to call his mom all the time just to, like if I couldn't settle him down, she'd call him and he'd be good, like, for a while, and then I'd have to call her again, and then he'd be good. But he was off the wall.
Like, pretty much everybody on the tour is, like, a good buddy of mine. It's like a traveling family, you know? Obviously, when you get up in the gate and it's time to drop, it's hard to be brutally honest, but you want to land your run and you don't want them to land theirs. So at the end of the day, it's definitely like competitive, but I try to help them out. I feel like I've raised some of the kids on the tour.
I've known Chaz since I was like 15, I think, and I got to travel with him when I was 16 when I first started doing good, and he took me to Europe for European X Games, and I stayed with him, and it was so funny. Like, he's so on point though. Like, so when I'm with him, I definitely try being on my A game because he's always on his A game.
A lot of things I've learned over the years that I can kind of pass on, and I've also educated the riders with, you know, the current state of snowboarding. I founded a riders union, a riders organization called We Are Snowboarding, which gives the riders a voice in the sport. I definitely take it upon myself to educate these guys, trying to get them to stick up for the sport and keep it running in the correct way. And I feel like that's my way of giving back.
I think age is just a number. There's a lot of young kids out there, but I watch him and, you know, he keeps working harder and harder. I just like to see good snowboarding and guys that keep progressing. And Chaz definitely does that.
There's probably like 10 or 12 people that can win on any given day because it's so high level, and that kind of makes it interesting, you know? It's not just the same 3 guys on the podium every time. So it's good to be a part of something like that. It's not stale. And I like to know exactly what I'm going to do and have a plan like the night before. And, you know what run I'm going to throw, know that my board's fast, you know the speed of the course. Preparation's everything. I came up 395 from Reno this morning. I was kind of going pretty fast. Tried to get up here in time for practice, and it looked beautiful. Like, the sun was out, we just got a little bit of snow. And then I got up here and I realized how windy it was. Definitely put a damper on the day. I wanted to get some practice in, and I was like, damn.
Mammoth Mountain's epic conditions and unparalleled terrain can often be a double-edged sword. Weather patterns can be unpredictable and unforgiving. And after a fairly mild winter, Mother Nature decided now was the time to unleash her fury on the mountain, its riders, and the faithful, hard-working organizers who are now forced to declare this world-class slope course off limits until the weather subsides.
This morning, 6:30 in the morning, 105-mile-an-hour winds at the 9,600 foot, right near the top of the competition. So I wasn't able to do much.
We're just kind of sitting on the waiting game to see what the weather does for this afternoon, and hopefully we can pull off a decent practice session, go into tomorrow's qualifier, and we do have some weather coming in for tomorrow, so we'll make the assessment then. Well, we've been going each day here, meaning about every 8 hours, to try and see what the next step is, looking at the forecast.
Weather looks much better on Friday and Saturday, and seeing if we can put some competition together tomorrow, and if not, adjust to the next day. We'll have a good event. I'm pretty confident the weather's going to get pretty nice for us on Friday and Saturday, but it'll be, a lot of early starts and a late finish.
For a rider as determined and focused as Chaz Guldemon, being forced to stay indoors at the foot of the mountain can be an even tougher test of will than the actual competition will end up being.
Sitting in the lodge, I feel like I'm in the movie The Shining. It's just blowing snow all over the place. It's like snowing sideways at all times. So it's pretty gnarly weather, and we didn't get any practice. So it's the most mentally strong person and the one that can put it together is gonna be the one that comes out on top.
Coming out on top here in Mammoth is nothing new to Chaz Guldemon. Mammoth Mountain has only held a slopestyle event twice, and Chaz Guldemon has won it both times.
Gonna put on a clinic in jumping right here. Here's the backside rodeo. He had problems with this his first run. This is where he went down, 6 that clean. He's gonna go double cork backside 10. Yep, there it is, backside 1080 double cork, so clean.
It is official. Chaz Guldemon, for the second year in a row, goes golden here in Mammoth Mountain, taking the win.
But with a new season and unpredictable conditions, the past is prologue, and the task of defeating this deep field of the world's best slopestyle riders can be as mammoth as the mountain itself. With bad weather on the horizon for the first couple days of the event, Chaz stays busy with Coach Bill Enos and heads to the toy store to go buy model cars. Being a veteran of slopestyle, Chaz knows that you can't control the weather and has learned to deal with the ups and downs of travel and competition.
It's kind of frustrating. I really want to ride, but sometimes you gotta just take it for what it is and hang out. And one of my places I like to go is the toy store. I like to do models, and my coach is a big influence on that. He loves messing around and just having a good time with our downtime. So that's why we're here, just checking things out.
The toy store, we kind of started doing that at the US Open a few years ago. I'd get them models just to kind of relax them, and we started doing them, and I kind of got into them too, like any kind of model or like robot or something we can put together. It's pretty fun just to kind of take your focus off snowboarding all the time. It's good to have fun and a life.
This is a good one. You can pour it into a mold, and then you mold your own car. So I think it's pretty cool. Stuff like that, it keeps you busy.
He's actually really good at doing models and things, and his dad taught him a lot growing up. He's very hands-on. He can pretty much build anything, and it's kind of what I like about him. He's been out there, he's had that job and stuff. It's just nothing really came easy to him. He comes from a very hard-working family, and that's it shows in his snowboarding. He works hard. He's one of the hardest workers in snowboarding.
It's nice to have the time off. You can just rest your body, but I came here for a reason, and the days are getting shorter, and only got 2 more left, and we still have to do a contest, and I haven't even hit a jump yet, so it's been tough. I just want to get out there and ride.
For a rider with the drive of Chaz Guldemon, playing with toys only keeps him occupied for so long. He must make it out on the mountain. But even the most experienced riders would be itching to get out after all the cabin fever.
I think that probably half-pipe riding and hitting jumps is out. Does everybody agree? But I would like to propose maybe we open the slopestyle rails to all the athletes, snowboarding and free skiing, for a couple hours. So at least they can work on those. I think it'll make for a better contest if they get the rails dialed. And
get on the feet today.
The wind is worse up there.
yeah.
Be a nice gesture.
It would be a nice gesture. Yeah, I mean, we can do that
Yeah,
for sure.
maybe
You think there's going to be pushback on that?
No, I think that at this point they'll be pumped to be able to do anything.
Okay, with the weather, with the wind, obviously probably not going to be able to hit the Piper jumps today, but what we're going to do from 12:30 to 2:30 to all competitors, ski, snowboard, pipe slope, we'll open the rails for session up there just for some fun. We'll blow off the jumps. Please stay off the jumps, guys, for your safety, for my sanity. Help us out. Have fun, be courteous. We'll decide the rest from there. Sound good? Yeah. Thanks, guys.
For the course this year, for the Grand Prix, so it starts off with 3 rails, and they're all pretty long. It's a super long down rail to start, and then a nice kink rail. So they're all like big, long, legit rail features, which kind of separates the men from the boys, like right off the bat.
The lackluster practice session only further emphasizes the desire everyone here has that tomorrow will bring rideable conditions suitable for running a contest. After 3 days of unrideable winter conditions, the sun rises on a new day, one that is as perfect as the others were disastrous. This was the day that the organizers were hoping for, but now that their prayers have been answered, they're forced to truncate 3 days into one. The riders will have to do their final training, qualifying, and compete in the finals all in one day. A mammoth task indeed, but nothing a seasoned pro like Chaz Guldemon couldn't handle.
Beautiful day. It's kind of unusual after the past 3 days, so right now we're just gonna kind of get warmed up in the course. First time running through the whole thing. Looks beautiful. Got a couple of power runs this morning, pretty blower, and looking forward to a good day. So get some practice and go into qualifiers.
Slopestyle stock has been rising sharply since the IOC's announcement of its inclusion in the Sochi Olympic Games. Along with the notoriety comes the depth of talent at every event. Names like Eric Willett, Sage Kotzenberg, and Benji Farrow, all top riders who Chaz will eventually be battling with for a spot on the U.S. Olympic team. But first, he's got to defeat them today.
Our Paul Mitchell progression session qualifiers underway.
Again, we're taking top 16, so these guys' main goal is just to make that top 16 to go to today's final.
Well, there's the guy who's undoubtedly the favorite here after winning the World Championships in Oslo, Norway.
We haven't seen a World Champion title given away in a long time. You don't want to mess with this guy's mental game, man.
The lack of practice was definitely a factor, but I've been riding so much this year that I knew I could just kind of go into it. A couple hours of practice, I knew I could get down when I needed to get down and be confident.
All right, there's the front board, 270 out. Chazzy's got his style dialed. There's the switch backside 9. And into the backside rodeo.
Just making some easy work of this course so far.
And there's the cab 9. All right, we're gonna see a solid run here. What's he got for this last jump? Backside 7, double tweak.
Wow, that was a great run right there for Chaz Guldemon. I gotta think that could take him right through our finals.
Can we just claim it right now?
What, that he's gonna qualify with that run?
Yeah, that's gonna move on.
If moving on to the finals was inevitable for the world champion, then so too would he expect to be followed there by his good friends, and even fiercer rivals, Sage Kotzenberg and Eric Willett, who each threw down impressive qualifying runs of their own. With a strong first qualifying run under his belt, Chaz knew he would be in the finals, so he used his second qualifying run to step up his game and send a chilling message to the other competitors that being world champion is more than just a title.
Front boards, 270s out like he just did there. Backside 180 off the mailbox.
The thing is, though, he just makes it look so easy, so nonchalant, and like he is just not trying. I mean, look at how slow rotating that 900 was.
Yeah, switch back 9 like it was a 5.
Yeah, no big whoop.
He does backside rodeos like that in his sleep all night long. Years of practice. Cab 1260.
First 12 we've seen today.
Wow. A warm-up of what we're going to see here later on.
So just checking out right there is what he's going to do in the finals, because, you know, I'd say it's pretty safe to say after that first run performance that we're going to see Chaz all the way through to the finals.
Chaz's attempt at a cab 1260 would hint at the arrows he still has in his quiver of tricks. And Coach Bill Enos is well aware of the fireworks to come.
Qualifiers went really well for all the guys. Chaz they all have like a lot better runs, so I was pretty psyched with the scores on those runs. So when they start really throwing down, it's gonna be amazing.